Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. 208 Adventures here, Nathan. Anyway, we got a subscriber of ours, a fan. Anyway, he is KRX 2021 Trail Edition, and met him the other day. We went for a little ride and come over and introduced himself, and we talked about my machine and talked about his machine. And anyway, convinced him to put a S&B Particle Separator in there. And so anyway, he gave me his machine. And so I installed that because I kind of want to do a little bit of a video. There's really nothing out there on these S&Bs for the KRX. And pretty simple install. Just remove the factory pod. There's 4 push pins in the bottom. Take it out. Get rid of the rubber elbow, hose clamps, so forth. Pretty simple right there. Put the new one in. You have a rubber drain that comes out of the factory pod. Need to put it in the S&B one. Put the push pins back in, and before you install this or set this up there, you should put these little metal clips on there, and then easier to bolt them down. I did these ones a little afterwards. Just setting there was a little bit difficult, but no big, it can be done. Just be easier if they were to sit in there. Just set them in loose, that way just snug them up whenever you finalize those. S&B also supplies the Allen head screws to put here. I chose just to go ahead and go back with the factory Phillips. Put them back, kind of, I don't know, just keep it original, I guess. I do like the fact they put these rubber grommets around the hose. You kind of slip them on the hose, slide this down on there, put the hose clamp on, tighten it down. Gives it a cleaner look, kind of protects it, top and bottom both. This is the new quiet separator. Yeah, pretty cool. Fire this thing up, you can't even hear it hardly. Just a little tiny hum. Didn't even know it was working until I got my hand underneath there and you could feel the air. A little more compact. Mine kicks down here. This is definitely more compact. I like it. I like the brackets here. They're definitely defined. They've got good lips, ridges on there for locking it in. Setting your adjustability. That was pretty sweet. Wiring just come up. Kind of bundled everything right here. I wish they were a little longer. Could have cleaned it up, put it down here, but anyway, stayed up there. This is a coil pickup. This, I guess, senses the speed. So at 4,000 RPMs for more than 5 seconds, this thing will go ahead and speed up the fans on the separator. And you tie them into this top coil wire. And it's got a heavy insulation on there. You can kind of just peel it back. And there's just a little, I don't know if you can see that, this little tab right there. You take the screw out, this lifts off, and you just stick it around the wire. No reason to, you don't peel the insulation off the main wire, just this big heavy protective insulation. The main wire insulation, leave it there. You just remove this so it gets a little better signal from that coil wire. I tied it back here. I didn't want this flopping around and putting more strain on that wire. It's kind of bulky, so kind of lock that down so it wasn't. Brought that, run it back up the cage. You can see. Anyway, brought from the power wires, so I can open the door. Run them under here. This was kind of a pain. I thought I could just go ahead and pull this plastic. There's going to be a whole bunch of extra stuff with the push pins. Leave that alone. No reason to pull that. Pull the seats, just get them out of your way. I tried to do it with seats in there. Pain in the butt. Get this off your fuel vent. Take it off. Seats out. Pull them out. Pull off this cover off the fuel vent. Pins around this shifter cover. And kind of see how that sets in there. Just lift it out of there. It's tight right up here in the front to get it out from under. I kind of had to pull this back. Got just enough give, and there's enough give in the plastic here. I was able to pull that out. Had to definitely put a little bit of pressure on it. But you'd have to take a bunch more apart. Was able to run the wires right underneath the shifter. I mean, you got room. You can pull that out. A few pins and screws along the edge here. And just right along the factory wiring harness. And here is the little bus bar up here. Both hot leads and a ground off the S&B. The instructions say put both hots over here, and then obviously the ground. So you just tie them together, put it on there. I did fire this up, worked perfect. So we'll start putting this thing back together. All in all, I thought it was a pretty straightforward. Other than the fact you definitely need to pull the seats and just get that stuff out of there. Could have been a little more detailed, I guess, on making this easier. Saying just pull the center console and just kind of give a highlight on what you need to do. Didn't need to be real detailed, just say, hey, you need to pull it. It'd be a lot easier. Otherwise, you're going to be stringing wires over top of things, and we didn't like that. I want this buried. I want the wires all put away. So, pretty cool. This trail edition. We took it down the road. Before I started on this, I like the cab in it. I like the cab. I'm not real happy with all the push pins. Push pins themselves don't bother me. It's how these are located in here. They've got them recessed so deep in the plastic that you can't hardly get them out of there. That's the only beef I have with this so far in working on it. This is the first time, obviously, I've ever had a KRX in the shop, or even really driven one for any length. So hopefully we get this thing back together. I'd like to take it for a spin this afternoon. It will take you long. Clean. I like the roof here, these rubber mounts here, or these straps. You literally just lift those off. One there, here, and there's a couple wing nuts here, no big deal. But for the back, as far as putting that separator on, literally, all I did was, yeah, that real easy there, one hand. Anyway, loosen or take both those straps off and just propped a little piece of styrofoam under either side, lift that up, was able to put these clamps right on there. Didn't even have to pull anything apart there. That was nice. Really like how clean that separator, the tubing, the way it runs with this pod, how it connects to the factory air box down there. I mean, literally a rubber boot, 2 hose clamps down there, rubber boot, 2 hose clamps here. They even colored them black. I like that. Looks clean. Make sure you have these rotated down or in front. If they're sitting up top, the cover will sit on top of that. It will rest. It'll raise it. You don't want that. Just super clean. I don't know. That was nice. Only other thing, I kind of they could throw some more zip ties in. I like zip ties. Well, I don't like zip ties, but I like keeping things kind of tidied up. I don't want them flopping around. I want things loose. I don't want the wires getting into things. I think for the cage, what would be really nice is to actually have some of these Velcro strips. I think that would look really, really good. I did take and put one up here around the main wire, the plugs. It's just kind of a group of wires. I got them kind of bundled up there, and put that around there. I like that's a lot cleaner. As you look, I mean, you can imagine, I don't know. That looks better than a zip tie in my opinion. Obviously I can make it a little straighter, but it just looks clean. If you're into it, just back off, boom, back on. It also puts a lot of pressure, you know, on those wires. I hate pulling them real tight. I don't want cutting in there, but it'll be all right. It'll be all good. Pretty nice rig. I'm excited. I like those doors. Couple things worth noting. These screws right here in the bottom, or sorry, right here in the dash, behind them, and the same with these, anything goes through these plastic, with the screws, has kind of a washer with a shoulder on it. You want to put the long ones up here. Just pay attention when you pull it apart. They're different lengths. So what'll happen is you'll go to put them in and they'll bottom out and you actually won't get a tight fit on the plastic. So just kind of pay attention when you pull them out and watch for the length of those shoulders. Because like I said, they will bottom out and then you're not getting the plastic tight. All the push pins come back in good. Everything else went back together really quick. It was actually faster putting it back together than taking it apart. Imagine that. Yeah. Push pins. Take out the ones all along here. Take out the bolt. These bolts, obviously the dash down inside the cup holder. One back in here is a bolt. Take it out. Push pins on this side, a bolt. Push pins on this side. Take them out. That'll allow you to lift this console out. Like I said, right here is really tight. You have to. I had to really kind of pull and strain, twist to get this plastic out of there. Popped it out, but shifter, everything, all that stuff stayed in there. Brake, all this lifted out. That wasn't that bad. Just getting ready to throw the seats back in. 4 bolts, little seats on each seat. Pretty simple. On the front one, these front 2, and this one back one are longer, for whatever reason. All the rest, the bolts, even on the other side, are all the same length, just short. All right, guys. This is it running. Listen, can't even hardly hear it at all. Come over to my Polaris with this older style. I'll just turn on the key. You hear it running. So quite a bit of difference. Need to clean that up. So anyhow, we'll take it for a little spin. I'm super impressed on how smooth this thing is taking off. It is smooth. I mean, just like that. No jerking, no nothing. That's high, and it just barely will frickin' crawl. This is nuts. Now for the rock crawling and stuff, I bet it's incredible. Maybe next weekend, I don't know, we'll see if I still got it. We were planning on going down, maybe going down to Silver City and doing a ride. See if that still pans out. But yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty sweet. So we're above that 4,000 RPM, holding it. Okay, I know the whole thing's pretty loud. This thing is loud, there's no doubt about that. As far as motor, clutch, just a lot of whine, but it is low gear, I get that. But you can barely hear that separator over it. I know I'm probably yelling into the camera. It is loud. And then that separator, just as I stopped or pulled up here, it just wound down real quiet. That's crazy. I kind of like that. So next machine we get, whether it be this, a Can-Am, a Honda, what, maybe even another Polaris for that matter. I do like that Turbo S. This thing needs mirrors bad. It's kind of funny, you take little things for granted, these mirrors, you don't think all mirrors. These are big machines, they're hard to see at. I mean, there's nothing in this, and they still can't hardly see, other than just get yourself all twisted up. And it's nice to see down the sides, obviously, so you're not driving in your freaking camp trailer or into the shop door or other crap you got piled everywhere. Or your power washer. That's crazy, that little bit of moving forward there, that thing started to dampen up. You could hear it, the fan started spooling up just a little bit. One thing definitely worth noting in here, room, tons of room. You know, I know there's complaints the grab handle a little loose, and yeah, I get it. None of these machines are built solid. I don't care. They all are just plastic. It's just push pin screws, That's where they are for the weight. I get it, but this is a nice machine. Curious what the electronic model with the Fox live valve in it. That'd be pretty cool. The dash, just on the videos and stuff I've seen. I don't know. I'm excited. I hopefully get a chance to take this thing out and take you guys along. It'd be nice to take this and put it in some crawling in the rocks. It'd be good. I like the doors. Big, open, in and out. Not sure about all this, but it's there. It's a clean finish on it. Good looking. I know the wife sure likes them. If it was 100% to her, and it might be, hell, who knows? But that's what we'd be driving, and we might. It's good looking. I like this big cargo area. That looks good up there. Again, I sure really like what they did here. S&B. Those look good. Those rubber grommets around there, super clean. Kudos to them. Like that, kind of keeps that factory look, but got their logo in it. That's cool. All right, guys. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like. Hopefully we can get some more with the KRX and bring your way. I'd be excited to do that. Appreciate all your support. Thanks. Till next time.